What if I told you that the key to lasting generational prosperity is not locked away in the vaults of Wall Street, nor hidden within the complex algorithms of modern finance, but has been encrypted, for over 3,000 years, inside an ancient protocol for spiritual warfare? What if I told you that your constant, draining financial struggle is not a matter of your effort, but a matter of your frequency? A sacred, powerful frequency that the ancient text of Psalm 91 was divinely engineered to activate within you. You feel it, don't you? In the quiet, desperate hours of the night, when the world is silent, you feel the cold weight of it. It's a bone-deep exhaustion, a spiritual fatigue from pouring your very soul into your work, your ambitions, your dreams, only to watch the rewards you seek dissolve like mist through your fingers. It's the silent, burning frustration that eats at your spirit as you see others advance, seemingly with effortless ease, while you remain chained to an invisible, recurring cycle of lack and limitation. You pray, you work, you sacrifice, you strive. But a silent, unyielding, transparent barrier seems to mock your every advance, always keeping you just shy of the breakthrough you so desperately need. You must understand this today, with absolute clarity. That barrier is not in the economy. It is not in your background or your education. It was constructed, brick by invisible brick, within the very architecture of your own mind. It is a fortress of fear, a citadel of doubt, a dark prison of inherited beliefs that the Word of God calls a stronghold of deception. And today, using the divine demolition power of that same Word, we will not merely challenge that fortress. We will utterly annihilate it. Psalm 91 is not a gentle poem meant to soothe a troubled soul. It is a set of divine blueprints. It is a spiritual technology, a piece of divine engineering designed by the grand architect of the universe to overwrite your subconscious operating system, to inoculate your mind against the viral plague of scarcity, and to forcibly align your material reality with the immutable, unshakable promise of heaven's overflowing abundance. The great titan of 20th century thought, Napoleon Hill, dedicated his entire life to a single obsession: decoding the mental software of the world's most successful and wealthy men. His foundational discovery, the principle upon which modern empires have been built, was that whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But as profound as that is, Hill was only scratching the surface of a far more ancient, far more potent truth. He discovered the lock, but the Bible holds the key. What happens when that belief is not anchored in the fragile, fluctuating power of human willpower, but in a blood covenant with the creator of every atom and star in the cosmos? What happens when human autosuggestion bows its knee to divine declaration? It is at this nexus, this sacred fusion point between the science of the mind and the raw power of an unshakable faith, that financial miracles cease to be a random, unpredictable possibility and become a certain, spiritual inevitability. Prepare yourself. Over the course of this journey, we will embark on a deep, archaeological excavation into the verses of Psalm 91. You will not just be listening to a message. You will be undergoing a spiritual activation. You will be handed a 7-night protocol, a step-by-step guide to installing a faith that cannot be shaken and unlocking the tidal wave of prosperity that, by divine inheritance and spiritual law, is already yours. Breathe deeply. Your transformation does not begin tomorrow when circumstances change. It begins right now, inside you. The first code, the master key that unlocks every other door to this divine treasury, is hidden in plain sight, concealed within the opening verse. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. The average person reads this and imagines a physical location, a church, a quiet room, a mountaintop. But the secret is not a place. It is a frequency. It is a state of being. Consider the powerful Hebrew verb, dwells. It does not mean visits. It doesn't mean you stop by for a brief moment when you're in trouble. To dwell is to reside, to remain, to make your permanent home there. It is your vibrational address. The secret place of the Most High is a dimension of consciousness. It is an internal fortress where the panic of a stock market crash cannot find purchase, where the screaming headlines of economic crisis are muted and silenced, where the whispering voice of the fear of poverty is drowned out by the thunderous, resounding certainty of divine provision. To live from this frequency is the absolute bedrock of all lasting, meaningful wealth. Consider the historical account of Daniel, a high-ranking official in a foreign empire, a man of profound integrity surrounded by jealous enemies. These enemies, unable to find any fault in his work, devise a legal trap. They manipulate King Darius into signing an unchangeable decree. For 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or man other than the king will be thrown into a den of hungry lions. The external reality was set. The crisis was unavoidable. The death sentence was politically motivated and legally binding. The starving lions were the sharp, menacing teeth of his circumstances. But Daniel was not operating on the same frequency as his accusers, or even the grieving king. The scripture says he went home, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed as he had always done. He dwelt in the secret place. His mind, his spirit, his entire being resided in a sanctuary of trust so absolute, so profound, that the external, physical reality was forced to bend to his internal, spiritual certainty. When he was thrown into the pit, the scripture says an angel shut the mouths of the lions. The frequency of terror could not penetrate the force field of his faith. Now, apply this ancient principle to your modern life. What are the lions that roar in your mind at 3 in the morning? Is it a mountain of credit card debt with ever-increasing, compounding interest rates? Is it the pervasive threat of layoffs in a volatile job market? The fear that your skills are becoming obsolete? Is it an inflation rate that relentlessly and silently devours your savings and your peace of mind? Trying to fight these lions in the physical realm alone, with sheer effort and frantic hustle, is the path to burnout and inevitable failure. The first profound lesson of Psalm 91 is a radical change of address. You must consciously decide to move out of the noisy, chaotic slums of fear and take up permanent, unwavering residence in the unshakable fortress of faith. Napoleon Hill called this a state of positive autosuggestion, a deliberate conditioning of the mind. Modern neuroscience can now map precisely what happens in your brain. When you live in a state of chronic fear and financial anxiety, your brain's amygdala, its primitive alarm center, is hijacked. It triggers the fight-or-flight response, flooding your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Critically, this primitive survival state shuts down your prefrontal cortex, the very part of your brain responsible for higher-level reasoning, creative problem-solving, intuitive insight, and seeing long-term opportunities. In a state of fear, you literally become less intelligent, less resourceful, and blind to the solutions that are often right in front of you. This is why you feel paralyzed, why you procrastinate on important decisions, why you make impulsive financial mistakes when under pressure. But when you learn to abide under the shadow of the Almighty, when you consciously and intentionally cultivate this internal state of divine safety, your parasympathetic nervous system is activated. Your mind calms. Your heart rate slows. Clarity emerges from the fog of worry. Intuition flows like a river. You begin to perceive divine solutions where you once only saw insurmountable problems. Wealth is not about chasing money. It is about becoming a magnetic beacon for it. And money, like all forms of energy in God's creation, is powerfully attracted to coherence, calm, and unshakable confidence. Your first practical mission, therefore, is to make a new, powerful declaration. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. This is not a hopeful, timid plea. It is a command. It is a vibrational decree that realigns every cell in your body and every neuron in your brain. You are serving an eviction notice to fear and declaring to the depths of your subconscious mind, we no longer operate from a paradigm of panic and lack. Our new permanent operating system is absolute trust in the divine supply chain. Practice this relentlessly. Before you check your bank account, before you make a sales call, before you make any financial decision, big or small, pause. Breathe. Intentionally enter your secret place. And ask yourself this one critical question. Am I about to act from a place of fear or from a place of faith? The quality of your decision, and the financial result that follows, will be determined entirely by your answer. We now advance to the second code, a statement so radical and so profoundly counterintuitive that it has baffled and challenged scholars for centuries. It is found in the 7th verse, a declaration of divine insulation. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Understand this. This is not a verse celebrating arrogance or a callous indifference to the struggles of others. It is a divine protocol for establishing vibrational immunity. It reveals a shocking, world-altering truth about the nature of reality. You do not have to participate in the economic crises of the collective consciousness. You can be standing in the very eye of a global recession, surrounded by a tsunami of bad news, bankruptcies, and market instability, and yet, you can and you must prosper in silence, untouched by the chaos. How is this spiritually and physically possible? The key is dramatically illustrated in the ancient account of the Passover, from the book of Exodus. A series of 9 devastating plagues had already struck the mighty Egyptian empire, yet Pharaoh's heart remained hard. The final 10th and most terrible plague, the death of the firstborn, was about to be unleashed. It was a terrifying, indiscriminate force, a wave of destruction set to sweep across the entire land. But amidst this impending doom, a divine instruction was given to the Israelites. It was a specific, non-negotiable protocol. Each family was to take an unblemished lamb, sacrifice it, and apply its blood to the 2 doorposts and the lintel of their house. They were to remain inside, protected by that sign. The plague, the angel of death, was a real and universal crisis present in the atmosphere. No one was exempt from its presence. But the instruction was clear. Whatever and whoever was inside the house that was under the protocol, protected by the sign of the blood, would be passed over. The crisis would not be allowed to enter. It would not come near it. Psalm 91 teaches us that your words of faith, your declarations of trust, and your disciplined refusal to partner with fear are the blood of the Lamb over the doorway of your mind. Most people live in a state of automatic, unconscious reaction. They unlock their phones in the morning and immediately absorb the energetic plague of panic from the financial news. They engage in conversations with friends and family that are saturated with the low-frequency vibrations of complaint and lack. They see businesses around them failing and subconsciously agree that theirs could be next. They allow the angel of economic death to enter their mental house. The inevitable result? Their mind, which neuroscientists have now proven cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and an actual one, begins to vibrate at the frequency of the crisis. And what you vibrate, the universe, under God's immutable law, must confirm and return to you. Vibrational immunity is the conscious, deliberate decision to stand at the door of your mind and say, "This crisis is not my own. This fear-based report does not define my reality. This collective failure is not my destiny." It is the sacred act of holding your faith firm, your mind shielded as if by a divine firewall, and your frequency high, regardless of the chaos raging outside. Napoleon Hill termed this the mastery of your dominant thought. He knew that you become what you think about most of the time. If you allow the fear of scarcity to dominate your thoughts, even under the guise of being cautious or realistic, you are, in effect, praying for scarcity to manifest. You are painting the doorposts of your mind with a sign of fear. This verse is a training manual for your brain. When you repeat it with deep, emotional conviction, you are literally forging new neural pathways. You are teaching your brain not to default to the collective panic response. You are installing a new program that says, even if the market falls, I rise. Even if others lose, I gain. Even if chaos reigns outside, my mind remains in perfect peace. A mind at peace accesses a higher dimension of intelligence and intuition that a mind in panic is utterly blind to. The opportunities that fear conceals, faith reveals. The doors that panic slams shut, confidence pries open. Your second practical mission, therefore, is to become a vigilant gatekeeper of your mind. Make deliberate choices about the information you consume. Drastically limit your exposure to mainstream news that profits from your fear. Politely exit conversations that are centered on lack and complaint. And every single day, preferably in the morning, declare aloud with authority, 1,000 may fall at my side, and 10,000 at my right hand, but lack, failure, and scarcity shall not come near me, for my mind is sealed by the divine promise of unwavering prosperity. The third code for financial activation is found in the 11th verse, a passage that moves from defense to offense. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. Here, we enter a realm of profound mystery and operational power. The modern, skeptical mind dismisses this as beautiful poetry, a comforting metaphor for good luck. But the ancients understood they were dealing with a fundamental, operational law of the universe. What precisely are these angels? The original Hebrew word, malach, simply means messenger. And you must understand, these messengers are not limited to winged, celestial beings in the sky. They are the sudden, brilliant ideas that solve a year-long business problem in an instant of insight. They are the coincidental meetings with the exact person who has the knowledge, the capital, or the connection you desperately need. They are the gut feelings, the deep intuitive nudges that steer you away from a disastrous investment and guide you toward a hidden, undervalued opportunity. They are the synchronicities that are so perfectly timed, so mathematically improbable, that they defy all logic and point to a higher, organizing intelligence working on your behalf. The promise here is that when you dwell in the secret place and shield your mind from fear, the Creator himself commands a current of invisible assistance to flow in your direction. The very fabric of the universe begins to conspire for your success. The life story of Joseph in Egypt is the ultimate case study of this principle in action. A young man with a divine dream, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and taken to a foreign land. His life seemed to be a series of downward spirals. In the house of Potiphar, he excels, only to be falsely accused of a heinous crime he did not commit. He is then thrown into a forgotten dungeon to rot. According to all worldly logic, his life was over. His potential was extinguished. But Joseph operated on a different frequency. Even in the suffocating darkness of the prison, he did not complain. He served, he interpreted the dreams of others, he maintained his unwavering connection to the divine. His mind remained an open channel, free of the static of bitterness and despair. And then the angel, the messenger, arrived. It came in the form of a disturbing dream tormenting Pharaoh, the most powerful man on earth. No one in the entire Egyptian empire, none of his magicians, none of his wise men, could decipher it. But Joseph, because his mind was tuned to the frequency of divine wisdom, received the interpretation. That single angelic message did not just release him from prison. It catapulted him to the position of the second most powerful man in the known world, empowered him to save nations from a catastrophic famine, and entrusted him with a management of wealth so vast it was immeasurable. What does this teach us? It teaches us that the most lucrative ideas, the most brilliant solutions, and the most life-altering opportunities rarely, if ever, come from brute force and mental struggle. They are received. They arrive when your mind is calm, receptive, and aligned with its source. Fear, anxiety, and stress create a loud, chaotic static that blocks the divine signal. Faith, peace, and trust clear the channel, allowing the signal to come through with perfect high-definition clarity. Napoleon Hill called this phenomenon a connection with infinite intelligence. He described a mental state where the individual's mind becomes a receiving station for the vast reservoir of knowledge, wisdom, and ideas that permeates the universe. Psalm 91 provides us with the spiritual protocol to achieve this state at will, turning your mind from a generator of worry into a divine receiver of wealth. Your third practical mission is to begin treating your intuition as a sacred messenger from the throne room of God. When you get a creative idea that seems to appear out of nowhere, do not dismiss it as random thought. Honor it. Write it down. Meditate on it. When you feel a strong, unexplainable urge to call a specific person, to explore a new field, or to visit a certain place, pay attention to it. Begin your day not with the chaotic noise of your phone and the endless scroll of social media, but with 5 minutes of absolute, intentional silence. Ask a simple, powerful question. What message does my Creator have for me today? What angels, what ideas, what intuitive nudges are being sent for my benefit and my advancement? And then declare with unwavering faith, my ways are kept. I am being divinely guided to the right people and the right opportunities at the perfect time. My mind is a clear and perfect receiver for the ideas that generate world-changing prosperity. We now arrive at the final, ultimate code, the one that integrates all the others and fundamentally redefines your very existence. It is the capstone of this entire spiritual technology. It is found in verses 14 and 15. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Pay incredibly close attention to the divine language being used here. This is not a transaction. It is a declaration of identity. The reason God delivers you, sets you on high, answers you, and honors you is not because you have earned it through perfect behavior or religious rituals. It is because you have set your love upon him and have known his name. In ancient Hebrew culture, to know someone's name was not merely to know how to pronounce a word. It was to have an intimate, experiential understanding of their character, their nature, their very essence. The staggering, life-altering implication is this. Your prosperity is not attracted by what you do, but by who you fundamentally believe you are. If at the core of your being, in the silent chambers of your subconscious mind, your identity is that of a sinner, a struggling person, a victim of circumstance, then the universe, by divine law, will respond to and manifest that identity. Even if money miraculously comes your way, you will find a way to sabotage it, to lose it, to repel it, because it does not align with your internal self-image of scarcity. But Psalm 91 offers you a new identity, a new spiritual passport, a new name. You are one upon whom God has set his love. You are one who knows his character as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides. You have direct, immediate access to the Creator of all things. You are destined not for mere survival, but for honor and glory. To be set on high means to be elevated to a level of consciousness and existence that is far above the daily chaos and the desperate struggle of the masses. The story of Gideon provides a stunning, cinematic illustration of this principle. When the angel of the Lord first found him, Gideon was threshing wheat in a winepress, hiding, terrified of his enemies, operating from an identity of pure fear. When asked who he was, his self-concept was clear. My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. He saw himself as weak, insignificant, and powerless, a product of a cursed lineage. And how did the angel greet this trembling man? With a shocking new divine identity. The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. Gideon, in his fear, resisted. He argued with the angel. He presented evidence of his weakness. He doubted the declaration. His current reality didn't match the new identity, but his entire life, and the destiny of his nation, pivoted on the moment he stopped arguing for his limitations and started accepting his new, divinely given identity. Only when he began to act as if he were a mighty man of valor did he receive the power to lead a nation to an impossible victory. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. This is why simply repeating positive affirmations without a deep, internal shift in identity is like painting a rusty car. It looks better for a short time, but the decay underneath continues to spread. You can say, I am rich 1,000 times, but if your subconscious programming is screaming, I am a failure who is always in debt, which voice do you think will win? Psalm 91 is a spiritual adoption paper. It is a legal document reminding you of your royal lineage. You are a child of the King, the owner of all the gold and silver in the universe. Scarcity is an illusion. Poverty is a false identity. Your fourth and most profound mission is this. You must renounce your old identity of struggle and lack, and consciously, deliberately, put on your new identity as an heir of divine prosperity. You must stop seeing yourself as a beggar, pleading for crumbs from the table of the universe, and start seeing yourself as a son or daughter, confidently accessing your inheritance. This is done through disciplined repetition and deep emotion. Declare daily, looking yourself in the eyes in a mirror, I am deeply loved by God. He knows my name. By divine decree, I have been set on high. The glory of abundance is my spiritual birthright. Feel the power and authority of these words. Let them dissolve the old, rotten foundations of unworthiness. When you change who you believe you are, what you attract into your life changes automatically and effortlessly. Now that you understand the codes, now that you have been given the keys to this ancient technology for reality engineering, it is time to move from revelation to application. Theory without action is merely entertainment. Faith without corresponding action, the scripture declares, is dead. Therefore, I now invite you to a sacred commitment, a ritual of 7 nights designed to permanently install these codes into the deepest levels of your subconscious operating system. This is not a mystical incantation. It is a process of neuroplasticity induced by faith. For the next 7 days, you will become the conscious, deliberate architect of your own mind, the engineer of your own destiny. Each night, approximately 10 minutes before you plan to sleep, you will prepare your sanctuary. Turn off the television. Silence your phone. Eliminate every source of electronic noise and fear-based frequency. Sit or lie down comfortably, with your spine relatively straight. Dim the lights. If you wish, light a candle or diffuse a calming scent. This is not about empty ritual. It is about signaling to your body and your mind that you are about to do sacred, important work. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep, cleansing breaths. As you inhale, imagine breathing in the perfect peace of God. As you exhale, imagine releasing all the anxiety, all the worry, all the stress of the day. This is the moment when the veil between your conscious and subconscious mind is at its thinnest. This is the moment the gatekeeper of your mind is most receptive. This is where the real work begins. On night 1, you will install the foundational code of security. Recite verse 1 aloud or in a strong whisper. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Feel the profound truth and power of these words enveloping you like a warm, protective blanket. Then, declare with absolute conviction, I make my permanent home in the frequency of divine protection and perfect peace. My mind is a holy sanctuary. Financial anxiety has no authority here. Fear is an illegal immigrant in my consciousness, and I deport it now. Now, engage your senses. Visualize yourself sleeping peacefully, completely surrounded and protected by a brilliant, impenetrable sphere of golden light. Imagine the low, humming sound of this divine energy field. Feel the warmth and the unshakable sense of safety it provides. On night 2, you will install the powerful code of trust. Recite verse 2. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Let the certainty of this declaration resonate in your chest, calming your heart. Then, declare with a sense of peaceful surrender, I place my absolute trust in the divine process of my life. I release the stressful need to control every outcome. The perfect provision for every need is already on its way to me, following the perfect divine timetable. Now, visualize yourself receiving an unexpected payment notification on your phone or opening an envelope to find a check for more than you expected. Feel the surge of genuine gratitude as if it has already happened. Feel the relief, the joy, the peace in your body. On night 3, you will install the critical code of immunity. Recite the radical declaration in verse 7. 1,000 may fall at my side, and 10,000 at my right hand, but it shall not come near you. Understand the divine authority you are wielding with these words. Then, declare with the calm confidence of a king, I am divinely immune to the vibration of collective scarcity. The chaos and fear of the world's economic systems cannot penetrate the fortress of my faith. Where others see crisis, my eyes are open to see divine opportunity. Now, visualize yourself walking with absolute calm and confidence through a chaotic scene, perhaps a frantic stock market floor or a crowd of panicked people. See yourself as an island of peace, untouched and serene, as opportunities and blessings are drawn to your stable, powerful energy field. On night 4, you will install the powerful code of attraction. Recite verse 10, not as a hope, but as a divine law. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. In this context, the plague is the insidious virus of debt, of lack, of the not enough mentality. Then, declare with the force of a magnetic field, my dwelling, my home, my mind, and my life are a consecrated space for goodness and abundance. The plague of debt and the curse of scarcity are repelled from my presence by divine law. The energy of money, opportunity, and favor flows to me easily, joyfully, and constantly. I am a magnet for divine good. Now, visualize your home and your bank accounts being surrounded by a brilliant white light that acts as both a shield and a beacon. See opportunities and resources, like streams of light, flowing toward you from every direction, drawn to your powerful, positive, faith-filled energy. On night 5, you will install the essential code of guidance. Recite verse 11, and understand you are activating your spiritual GPS. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. Embrace this as a promise of supernatural insight. Then, declare with quiet reverence, I am divinely guided in all my financial affairs. My intuition is the voice of God, showing me the path to profit and purpose. $1,000,000 ideas and $1,000,000,000 strategies flow to my mind with perfect clarity. I am always in the right place at the right time. Keep a notebook and pen by your bedside. Expect to receive inspired ideas in dreams or upon waking, and be ready to capture these angelic messages before they fade. On night 6, you will install the climactic code of dominion. Recite verse 13, and feel the authority rising within you. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. The lion is the roaring fear of poverty and failure. The serpent is the subtle, poisonous whisper of doubt and unworthiness. Then, declare with the authority of a conquering king, I have been given divine dominion over fear. I have crushed the head of the serpent of doubt. I operate from a position of power, authority, and unshakable faith in all my financial endeavors. Lack is under my feet. Debt is under my feet. In your mind's eye, vividly and powerfully visualize yourself standing tall, with one foot on the neck of a lion labeled fear, and the other on the head of a serpent labeled doubt, victorious and unafraid. Finally, on night 7, you will install the ultimate code of identity. Recite the final verse, 16, as your personal sealed destiny. With long life I will satisfy him, and show him my salvation. The Hebrew word for satisfy implies complete fulfillment, to be filled to overflowing. Then, declare your new, permanent reality. I am the living embodiment of God's abundance. Overflow is my natural state. My prosperity is a consummated fact in the spiritual realm, and I now command its full manifestation in my material world. I do not hope to be prosperous. I am prosperous now. In your final visualization, do not see things coming to you. See yourself already there. See yourself living in your dream home, driving your dream car, funding the charities of your heart, living in complete freedom and joy. Feel the emotions of this reality as if it were already true, for in the realm of faith, it is. Execute this protocol not with the timid hope of a beggar, but with the focused precision of a soldier and the pure, unquestioning faith of a child. This is not about mindlessly repeating words. It is about feeling the present tense reality of each declaration deep within your soul. You are planting divine seeds in the most fertile soil in the known universe. Your own subconscious mind, consecrated and empowered by the Spirit of God Himself. This simple practice, when performed with intention, emotion, and unwavering consistency, is a true vibrational portal. You will not merely be praying. You will be reprogramming. You will not just be wishing. You will be planting immutable codes of divine abundance into the fertile soil of your mind. Napoleon Hill famously stated that the strongest desires, when repeated with faith, become inevitable realities. The Psalm 91 protocol, applied in this way, transforms your mind into the perfect ground for those desires to take root and bear fruit at an astonishing speed. Commit yourself to this ritual as if your very life depends on it, because the life you were always meant to live certainly does. There is an invisible truth that the majority of humanity will never grasp. Prosperity is not merely a matter of strategy. It is a matter of frequency. You attract into your life that which corresponds to the dominant vibration of your inner world. And Psalm 91 is, in its very essence, a set of sacred sonic declarations designed to elevate your personal frequency to a pitch where scarcity simply cannot survive or approach. Each verse is a spiritual tuning fork, designed to resonate with the fundamental laws of universal abundance. It is no coincidence that words like refuge, fortress, deliverance, protection, and salvation appear repeatedly throughout this psalm. They are not just comforting words. They are vibrational targets. They represent the precise emotional and spiritual states your mind must internalize to access the frequency band where prosperity flows naturally and ceaselessly. Napoleon Hill made this clear. The human mind, he taught, is like a powerful radio broadcasting station. It is constantly emitting and receiving frequencies. Crucially, it can only receive that which is in harmonic resonance with what it is currently transmitting. If your mind is broadcasting fear, worry, anger, or frustration, it will inevitably attract people, circumstances, and results that vibrate on that same chaotic frequency. But when your mind begins to consciously broadcast peace, faith, gratitude, and certainty, the entire universe is compelled by divine law to reorganize itself to confirm this new, powerful emission. It is like changing the dial of your cosmic station. You don't force the signal. You simply align with it. And Psalm 91 is the perfect tool for this divine alignment. When you recite it daily, with focused intention and deep emotion, you are sending a clear, undeniable signal out into the cosmos. My mind is protected. I am safe. I trust in the divine provision. And what happens when this vibration becomes your dominant, default state? Your external reality begins to mirror this internal state with startling precision. Doors that were sealed shut swing open. The right people and resources appear as if by magic. Money flows with less stressful effort and more divine synchronicity. This is not magic. It is vibrational resonance. Now, reflect with brutal honesty. What have been the most repeated words, thoughts, and feelings in your mind over the last few days? Did they vibrate with confidence or with lack? Did they create an internal atmosphere of security or of fear? Because your financial life responds more to your dominant mental state than to your physical labor. This is not to devalue effort, but to correctly position its focus. When you place your effort inside the right frequency, it is multiplied 100-fold. But when you work from a place of tension, fear, and urgency, your results will be scarce, fragmented, and exhausting. And how do you change this vibration? With spiritual discipline. With daily practices. With declarations that do not just leave the mouth, but erupt from the heart. Let us do this now. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply, and repeat these words mentally, after me. Feel them. I am safe. I lack nothing. Divine supply flows to me perfectly. My vibration is at peace. My mind is anchored in faith. My heart is filled with gratitude. I now align with the frequency of prosperity. Now just feel that. Don't force it. Just feel. Imagine that each word is an energy wave being emitted into the universe, and that the universe is responding instantly with opportunities, ideas, people, and money. This is real. This is what Napoleon Hill called infinite intelligence, a field of higher consciousness that cooperates with all who are in harmony with faith and action. This is the force that Psalm 91 activates. When you repeat its verses with true faith, you graduate from the level of anxiety to the level of connection. You stop acting merely with the force of your own arm and begin acting with the unstoppable force of divine alignment. And it is at that point that money begins to find you. You stop chasing and start being guided. You exit the realm of desperation and enter the divine flow. Therefore, make Psalm 91 your daily bread. Do not treat it as a lucky charm. Treat it as a mental code. Do not read it out of fear. Read it out of wisdom. Because everything it promises is already available to anyone who dares to believe and vibrate on this frequency. You have reached this point, and it was not by accident. This message, this sequence of codes from Psalm 91 and the wisdom of the ages, arrived in your life because your soul is ready for a new level of consciousness. You now understand. Prosperity does not begin in your wallet. It does not begin with your salary. It does not begin with an external opportunity. It begins in your mind. It begins with the frequency you emit. It begins with the words you repeat. It begins in the silent vibration you carry when you are alone, in the darkness, just before you fall asleep. Psalm 91 is not just a prayer. It is a mental fortress. It is vibrational armor. It is a sequence of divine declarations capable of fundamentally changing your energetic, emotional, and financial field. And when these declarations are mixed with faith, as Napoleon Hill taught, and repeated with consistency, as neuroscience confirms, the impossible moves, money comes, ideas flow, blockages dissolve, and doors of opportunity swing open. Therefore, today, I invite you to a spiritual and mental challenge. A sacred commitment to your new, prosperous self. For the next 7 days, before you sleep, you will silence the world, breathe deeply, repeat the verses of Psalm 91 with faith, declare affirmations of wealth, worthiness, and security, and visualize abundance arriving in your life with ease and grace. You will transform your nights into a silent altar, your mind into a fertile field, and your faith into a direct channel to the source of all provision. Don't wait to see it to believe it. Believe it, and you will see it. Because what you believe with your entire heart, the universe will confirm with startling precision. Remember this every day. You are protected. You are guided. You are supplied. You are worthy. You are already vibrating in abundance. If this truth has touched your spirit, declare it now in the comments with faith. I activate the frequency of prosperity with Psalm 91. That sentence seals your new identity. This choice defines a new cycle in your life. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do it now. This subscription is not just a click. It is a pact with your own expansion. It is a yes to the content that strengthens your mind, your spirit, and your path. Like this video, so the algorithm understands its power and shares it with others who are lost in the darkness of lack. And share it with at least one person who you know needs to hear this message of hope and empowerment. Live these next 7 days as a complete reset of your mental and financial journey. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High lives in a field of protection, provision, and manifestation. This can now be your new vibrational address. And remember, while you sleep, faith works. While you trust, the mind creates. While you declare, prosperity draws near. The harvest of what you have planted here has already begun. Now, I want you to seal this new beginning in the comments. What is the very first fear about money that you will neutralize and trample underfoot using the power of this psalm? We will see you in the next video.